If you're looking for an awesome product at a great price, be sure to check out the link in the description. The UK government is poised to formally recognise the State of Palestine this September, a decision born from the escalating humanitarian crisis in Gaza and the increasingly bleak prospects for a lasting two-state solution. This announcement, delivered by Prime Minister Keir Starmer following an emergency cabinet meeting, sends ripples across the international stage, adding a new layer of complexity to the already volatile situation in the Middle East. The decision, however, hangs precariously on the actions of the Israeli government. Unless substantive steps are taken to alleviate the suffering in Gaza, achieve a sustainable ceasefire, and commit to a two-state solution, the UK's recognition will become a reality before the UN General Assembly convenes in September. The statement, issued after a cabinet meeting hastily convened amidst the ongoing humanitarian catastrophe, clarifies the UK's unwavering position: there is no equivalence between Israel and Hamas. The UK's demands on Hamas remain absolute: the immediate release of all hostages, a commitment to a lasting ceasefire, disarmament, and a renunciation of any role in the governance of Gaza. These conditions, coupled with the Israeli government's response, will ultimately determine the UK's course of action. The news has sparked a wave of reactions across the globe. Donald Trump, in a statement to reporters on Air Force One, confirmed that the Palestinian state recognition plan was not discussed during his recent meeting with Prime Minister Starmer. This revelation adds a further dimension to the geopolitical chessboard, highlighting the delicate balance of international relations and the diverse viewpoints on this sensitive issue. The Israeli Foreign Ministry, in a strongly worded statement, condemned the UK's move, characterizing it as a reward for Hamas and a potential impediment to achieving a ceasefire and securing the release of hostages. The criticism underscores the deep divisions and entrenched positions that fuel the ongoing conflict. The announcement has also drawn criticism from within the UK itself. ActionAid UK expressed its deep concern, denouncing the use of Palestinian statehood as a mere bargaining chip in the ongoing negotiations. The charity emphasized the inalienable right to self-determination for the Palestinian people, highlighting the urgency of a ceasefire and the need for the UK government to utilize all available diplomatic avenues to achieve peace, including halting arms transfers to Israel and imposing sanctions. Other voices within the UK political landscape have also weighed in, with the Liberal Democrats welcoming the move but urging immediate recognition of Palestine, independent of any conditional clauses. They also advocate for stronger measures to halt the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, urging the UK to cease arms sales to Israel and implement sanctions. The UK's strategy, a calculated gamble, employs recognition of Palestine not as a reward, but as a powerful lever to encourage a resolution to the crisis. This approach marks a notable shift from previous UK administrations, which historically linked Palestinian statehood recognition to the fulfillment of certain conditions that have remained largely unmet due to the intractable nature of the conflict. The government's approach has been dissected by political analysts, who point to the differing versions of the conditions laid out in various official statements as evidence of the government's internal deliberations and the nuanced complexities of the decision-making process. The conditions imposed on Israel are arguably more challenging to meet than those imposed on Hamas. The likelihood of the Israeli government committing to a two-state solution, given its current stance, remains highly uncertain. This strategic shift positions the UK as an active player in seeking to influence the outcome of the conflict, albeit a role fraught with potential pitfalls and significant international ramifications. The implications of the UK's decision extend far beyond the immediate context of the Gaza conflict. Foreign Secretary David Lammy, addressing the UN on the matter, emphasized the precarious state of the two-state solution and underscored the historical context of the UK's involvement in the region. He alluded to the Balfour Declaration, while acknowledging the historical injustices perpetrated against the Palestinian people, and reiterated the UK's commitment to securing a lasting peace through a two-state solution. Lammy's appearance before the UN provided a further platform for the UK's position, emphasizing the solemnity of the government's pledge and seeking to garner international support for a peaceful resolution. The UN General Assembly, the stage on which the UK's decision will ultimately play out, is a setting ripe with diplomatic opportunities, as well as considerable hurdles. The international community watches, keenly aware that the UK's actions will reverberate throughout the Middle East and influence the course of future negotiations. The government's strategy, therefore, is multifaceted. It aims to alleviate the immediate suffering in Gaza through humanitarian aid, while also strategically employing the potential recognition of Palestine as a means of influencing the outcome of the ongoing conflict. The humanitarian aspect of the crisis is not being ignored. The UK government has detailed its efforts to deliver aid to Gaza, including airdrops of essential supplies and support for medical evacuations of injured children. However, the government is acutely aware that airdrops alone are inadequate. The need for a substantial influx of aid via land routes has been emphasized repeatedly, underscoring the urgent need for a ceasefire and a safe passage for humanitarian aid convoys. Prime Minister Starmer's conversations with President Trump are indicative of the government's attempts to build a broad coalition of support for its proposed solution, including collaborative efforts with the US, Egypt, and Qatar to secure a sustainable ceasefire, which is deemed essential for any viable long-term peace plan. The 8-party peace plan mentioned by Starmer remains a work in progress, adding another layer of diplomatic maneuvering to the unfolding events. The upcoming weeks will be crucial in shaping the outcome. The UK's assessment in September, while devoid of any veto power for either party, will necessitate a thorough examination of the actions taken by both Israel and Hamas. This assessment will require a delicate balancing act, weighing the security concerns of Israel with the urgent humanitarian needs of the Palestinian people. The UK's commitment to a two-state solution remains central to its position, underscoring its belief that this is the only path towards a just and lasting peace in the region. However, the path toward achieving this outcome remains fraught with challenges, demanding a nuanced approach that considers the various interests and perspectives at play. The world watches, waiting to see if the UK's calculated gamble will yield the desired results or inadvertently exacerbate the existing tensions. The international community awaits the September assessment, acutely aware that the consequences of this decision could dramatically alter the course of the conflict, either prompting meaningful action towards a resolution or further intensifying the already volatile situation in Gaza and the wider